trying to tell, the further you get away from out east, the more affluent it becomes. So the more nicer clothes you see, the more nicer cars you see, the more nicer homes you see. Oh, they got a Chick-fil-A right here. They got the so it gets nicer and nicer the further and further away from out east you get. So with that being said, the attitude changes. So coming from nothing in a poverty stricken, environment, you would think, all right, cool. That's the typical, be humble, be chill. Then you get further a little bit, Lawrence. It's like, okay, they got the money together, but they still east side, so they be chilling. Then you get a little bit further, you get into that guys type of Fishers area. It's like, all right, that's where some money's starting to reside. It's not gonna be too much outgoingness. It's gonna be police and stuff. A couple years back, was it the live PD stuff? They
Mm-hmm.
go around the city recording.
Said, welcome, podcast listeners. I'm your host, Bashiru, also known as Bass. On this episode 8, man, I got somebody, man. When I first met this brother, man, I was at University of Indianapolis in an entrepreneurship class. Man, and I turned back around. This somebody just introduced themselves. They said, "Hey, my name is DaShawn. I'm an entrepreneur. I got a cleaning business." I turned around, I'm like, man, who? He got that voice that'll really, like, hold on, who's this cat? Like, you gotta really, like, it's a very voice that it's a leader, like a lion, man. I'm telling you. So on this episode, man, I got a leader, an entrepreneur, man, somebody that's very involved in the community, a father, man, somebody that just, man, I'm witnessing my own eyes, man, how he's leading the community, he's working, partnering, doing all types of things, man. Um, I bring you DaShawn Warfield. How are you doing today?
Man, that was a hell of an intro, bro. Like, that was nice right there. No cap. I'm feeling well though. I appreciate you asking, man. Complaining less, trying to do more. You all right? You cool?
Man, all is well. It's an honor to have you here. Um, yeah, I think, man, just in the short time that I've known you, like it's it's like, man, where do we go? Where do we go? Seriously.
It's a lot of layers to it, ain't it? It's a
Nah,
lot of layers for real, man. Especially starting off like you said in the UND class, then hooping every other week or so, every other day during the week, bumping into each other on campus. Then that lost time in between, and then next thing you know, we find each other. You click within our professions, so it's like it go to show like the growth is there.
absolutely.
We go from where we grew. It's
Yeah.
just different levels and platforms, and now we at a different space within our professions. So just elevating and leading from there. You can't even time it or ask God for a better way to put it, because He'll make the picture for real.
Man, the way you just kind of narrated that whole sequence from the day first at that class till now, man, I think you hit it on the nose, man. You just documented the whole timeline vocally really well.
So right on,
Yeah,
right on.
man. So, man, this is the Fresh P podcast, DaShawn, and on this podcast, it's about society and culture, right?
Hmm.
Just want to get to know more about people, understanding the things that they're doing, right? And so, with that said, me knowing that you're an entrepreneur, right? I met you in the entrepreneur class.
Hmm.
With that said, man, I just kind of want to learn about you, man, like where you come from, the things that you got going on, and just how did you even get to where you at now?
Understood. My name Deshaun. I'm from the far east side. Grew up out east pretty much all my life. I had a short stint out west. It's like a year or so, but it don't really count if you ask me. It
Ah,
don't really count, man. I was there for elementary school. But man, I'm passionate, I'm ambitious. I'm trying every day, I'm learning every day, I'm growing. I'm honestly just moving, pushing, evolving, you know, uh willing to help, be around, just that extra extended arm you could reach to. Um, Most people know me as Dub, know me from basketball background. They know me from around the way, from 10th and Post, 25th and Post, 46 in Arlington. Everywhere, I'm just East Side baby, man. Just really wanting to see better, do better. So, me.
hey, So I want to ask you something, man. Where does that sense of like really representing the Far East Side come from? Because that's one thing, man. I see, me being truth be told, I was born on the East Side, 42nd and Post Road. Like I
Mhm.
was born there.
Good photos.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's one thing, man. Once I had moved to the East Side, I mean the West Side, like third grade, whatever. This might have been 2008.
Mhm.
I go to the West Side. I'm like, man, the West Side got it really, really good.
Man.
So, with that said, for me, just seeing how the East Side was, you hear people talk about the East Side potholes, this, and that, right?
Right.
However, with that being said, for me to come across someone like you that's always like, man, you really represent the far in a prideful way. I don't know if that's the word I should use, but do
Mhm.
you really put on for the Far East Side? Where does that come from?
Well, I take that where you just said pride, like knowing that we're the dirt on everybody boot in the city. Don't nobody really like to take pride in knowing I'm from where the violence is from, or I'm from where the bad news on Facebook or something every day comes about, or my kids didn't had this and the other kids got that. So it's just being prideful and knowing to that you're in a community that also doesn't have as much. So you just be as graceful to the next person as you are to yourself because you just humble really. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you from the east side. If you typically it's like this, right? Everybody from out east don't really want a problem with no one because they have problems of their own they're dealing with. So when you see something happen out east and it's either like all the way good or it's all the way bad. It's never like in the middle, unfortunately. Only because it's like people move with a genuine humbleness about just want to go about their business. I ain't really here to mess with nobody else. Yeah, the music gonna be loud when you come out east. Yeah, you might smell weed, smoke or something, but this genuinely like I wouldn't say the bottom of the city, but everybody love it because they know we are who we are. We just don't hide it. We know we ain't got as much as the West Side. They got the factories, they got the jobs, they got the car plants, and the nicer malls and things of that sort right next to the wealth of the city, the Geists and the Carmels and the Brownsburgs and things of that sort. So when you look at it like that, and then you go to the other end of the spectrum, coming up on 10th and Post over there in Washington Point, even then we're right there on the borderline of Greenfield. Like it gets more more southern as if you would use that word as you go past that point. So it's just like the east side is kind of like four or five streets really, and everybody stay together with a sense of humbleness. It's like a family. It's like a small family.
Yeah, man. That's one thing I really do respect about you, man. You really stamped that. Like you represent the Far East Side, man. That's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I felt like as I got to grow older, man, I started to like take on just understanding more of my identity, like where I come from. Like I was born on the east side, like I said, but my identity is truly being African. I'm come from Niger, like my flag right there.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's one thing I started to like realize, man, just knowing where you come from and the impact of knowing that. Because if you know where you come from, can't nobody tell you who you are, you know what I mean? Things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. And with that being said, it's like, man, me, being born here on the east side, coming to the west side, but my parents being from Africa, I grew up in the Midwest of America, right? But then you
Mm-hmm.
see on TV how they always talking crazy about people that look like us.
Mm-hmm.
The Far East Side, we the boot on people. I mean, we the mud on people's boots, right?
Literally.
Like,
Yep.
yeah. So as you said, and so like I think that's just very, very important. And I appreciate you for sharing that because I know people feel the same way. They represent the east side. However, the city may be talking this way. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a little east side, west side, a little beef. I don't know, something maybe it just gains, but
I just think it kind of develops from like knowing like it grows more into the personality, because you can kind of tell the further you get away from out east, the more affluent it becomes. So the more nicer clothes you see, the more nicer cars you see, the more nicer homes you see. Oh, they got a Chick-fil-A right here. So it gets nicer and nicer the further and further away from out east you get. So with that being said, the attitude changes. So coming from nothing in a poverty stricken, environment, you would think, all right, cool. That's the typical, be humble, be chill. Then you get further a little bit. Lawrence, it's like, okay, they got the money together, but they still east side, so they be chilling. Then you get a little bit further, you get into that Geist type of Fishers area. It's like, all right, that's where some money's starting to reside. It's not gonna be too much outgoingness. It's gonna be police and stuff. You know, a couple years back, was it the live PD stuff? They go around the city recording people going live and stuff, and they get them. But the further and further you get, the personality and the attitude kind of changes from humble to I wouldn't say arrogant, but it's just it becomes more profound, and you can kind of tell it. That's why they say the West Side got a smell about it. You know, just a different smell. It literally is, man. It is.
Yeah. Nah, that's cool, man. So with that said, man, it sounds like you really understand the demographics and the layout of Indianapolis. Not even just the east side, but the west side as well.
Mhm.
So that really transitions us to the next segment, with just understanding, like, you know, this entrepreneurial aspect about you, right? Man, how was entrepreneurship introduced to you, and like when was it that moment you was like, all right, this is the move I'm finna make?
Uh, when it was introduced, I say it was as early as when I was in school, and it was like artistically induced, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
I always had a knack
Drawer.
about myself. Yeah, just drawing or
Awesome.
just staying around, staying about, just like coloring, or if I see something, like it's just like I would love to see that on paper in my type of way. So it just started out with that. And then at school with my boy James, like the first time I remember actually giving away my art, or giving a something that I put my little taste or spin on, and kids in the classroom, it's like fourth grade, I believe, kids in the classroom just paying a nickel, 25 cents, $1 for 4 pencils. We doing colored pencils, we doing name tags, we done made a comic. This is all in, grade school. So coming from that to then just trying to see like, oh, okay, well, people are interested in what I'm interested in. Let's take this differently. But after that came basketball, and then it's just like it always stayed about with me, only due to me just like staying in the knowing about what's going on, and then also creating at the same time. So it's like, if I'm interested in this and I feel like this is something other people would be interested in, and it just so happened to put a price on it. Now it's entrepreneur, it's capitalism, so that's kind of how I stumbled into it a bit.
Just drawing.
Hmm.
That's pretty, man. So what's like one of the coolest drawings you got in your opinion?
uh I wouldn't even say I got a cool drawing as of recently, only because I'm a sketcher. Like I've been quickly sketching because I want to get to the painting side of things.
Mhm.
So the last cool drawing I done had, man, somewhere in the sketchbook, is probably a NS1 concept.
NS1.
Yes,
Could you
sir.
I'm not.
So the NS1 Gallery is something I came to just come to make sure I collect all of my sketches and stuff, and I want to display my art differently. So in 2022, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a gallery. I'm gonna be the gallery. I'm gonna reintroduce the art that I feel blends my personal time and what I do personally. Because not everybody. I'm more so introverted. I'm not really your outgoing, extroverted entrepreneur. I'm the type, we had talked to you, seen it from last we had spoke, but I'm my gallery represents what you go and do with your personal time, so you go and create, nobody sees you, and then by the time you're ready to pop out and stuff, that you'll be able to show them like, this is what I do, like, and you'll be able to feel that energy through it, no matter if it's just me collecting vintage pieces like I got on right now with a vintage Nautica belt, or it's just me giving a product like a lighter or the incense to go along with complimenting what you do in your personal time. Because I'm a smoker, so that's when all the thoughts and stuff come in. That's when I'm able to make sure these ideas is put together or so. So that's what I do with my personal time. I want to share with people, and that's when the gallery came about. So as of right now, I'm trying to curate an experience that's more different than your regular vending artist that'll sell you a painting or sell you a sketch. I'd rather sell you a product like my latest product. This is what I actually bought for you too.
Okay.
My boy, this the lighter right here.
It's a lighter.
Yo, that's the 002. That actually goes with uh what I was saying, just collecting and bringing it differently, different model, different ways. So that has a sketch on it. Just my original logo right now. NS1, something simple, clean, clean,
Mm-hmm.
smooth. So you just use it, get it. leave it in the couch, in the cup holder, in the car, some quick use the lighter. It's just bringing art to you differently. So when you grab that lighter, something like, oh man, that's my boy, you know?
Yeah,
So
that
yeah.
connection.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it, man. I want to appreciate you for it,
Yeah,
man.
it's
By
all
the
love,
way,
my boy.
yeah, I do it definitely. I got my instant thing right there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
nah, I got you next time on them then. Most
say
definitely.
less, man.
I
We on the
got you.
same page, but man, I love the fact that you're sharing someone with like the NS1 Gallery, right? Taking
Mm-hmm.
that time to, okay, this is my personal time, and then sharing that with others. I feel like oftentimes, society, we forget that we got a personal life too.
Mm-hmm.
Find a hobby or something and
Mm-hmm.
share it. So I really do love that aspect.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And so I want to go next, man. Stacking over shining.
Man.
How did that come about?
So StackOverShine came about. Shout out my boys Keanu. Shout out my boy Vontae.
Shout out Vontae Keanu, man.
All of them, man. We really had this idea. It initially started with Vontae giving me a pitch one night. Me and Vontae always, after we graduated high school, every now and then we'd see each other and we'd just meet up, talk, kick it every now and then. And then this one specific time we had actually spoke. And it was like a shorter moment than we usually do. Like normally I'm over there, it's like 30 minutes to an hour. I'm just cooling him with the kids. This time it was just shorter. And it just so happened to be, he was like, hey Dub, we having this meeting tomorrow. We trying to get something together, trying to create a business. I see you been, you know what I'm saying? They kind of observed me. I was working with the clothing line, doing the cleaning company, as you mentioned earlier. And they figured, I would be the one that help them. So he just pitched it to me. It was like, man, just come through tomorrow, come to this meeting. I was like, man, I'm gonna tell you, I will if I got time. Then it turned into it, man, come to this meeting tomorrow. And then that turned into me and him sitting down for about like 30 minutes or so. We
Mhm.
just sitting there crafting. Like they had multiple ideas before I had came on board really with what they were trying to do with him, Vontae, and my other guys from where we came up from Washington Point, where they was just crafting and just trying to make something stick. But then came around me in the process. We actually was sitting there for a minute, me and Vontae. We was inside of Keanu house before he got there. Then he pulled up and we
Yeah.
sitting there. The only thing we had kind of cooked up so far was a name, but we just knew like we getting older, we coming across some money, and we just can't sit here and just be like the ones that's before us. We had some unfortunate influences,
Mm,
but in the same instance, though, they don't have nothing to show for, today.
I
They
see.
always got the stories of the I coulda, shoulda, woulda stories, and we are about always since we were little kids. Vontae was the one that showed us, hey, go to the old man. He'll knock on his door. He'll take, collect some cans. He'll give you a couple of dollars for this. So it was just like always a certain type of way of trying to do something like to make something happen that'll last on us. So we was sitting down cooking and we came up with the name Stack Overshine. We knew that was something that kind of resonated with what we intended for when we was growing up to now. We knew that it would represent a lot of, what we want the people around us to know, because when we come, a lot of black men, they come together, they assume it's going to be drugs or they assume it's going to be anarchy or something that could just tear down the community. So we just already got the message in the name. You know what we about, you know what's going on. He pitched it. Keanu came in, he heard the name, he said, yup, cool, that's what we doing. We sat down another hour and some change cooking up the idea to make sure like this is something that we need for ourselves when we were younger, so now it could be where they can go to, if that makes sense. So let's make this I want the little homies to call me if they need help. I want my boys to call me if they need help because, okay, cool. So we want to make sure we're a resource. Then that turned into, well, we want to make sure we can provide something too, so that turned into, well, let's get a pallet or something. Let's break these down. Let's make the pallets make sense for people around us. So when we getting stuff off the pallets, it made sense. If you need a little mini fridge, if you need something for the crib, like appliances or stuff, we're getting something that makes sense community value wise. So it went from that, the product. Then let's leave them with a message. Keanu was really hard on verbalizing, and he's like the most outgoing out the group. So he can really just speak to you up and down about damn near any subject on the wall. So he wants to make sure a message sticks. So that kind of set and led into us cooking up, man, Juneteenth. which so happens to be like the year following or so. That's when they made it a federal holiday. So then we just all right, bet. Well, let's get these people together and let's have a Juneteenth event. Let's bring some people that little homies now, whoever rocking with us, just put it all on our pages. And it's that. This is what it is from today moving forward. Cause we just knew coming together is something that was destined for us since we was kids. So if it happens to be investing in it, then let's make it what it is.
And man, so y'all was at Keanu crib before he even got there.
Yeah, we got that
Just
type of
cooking.
relationship, man. We pull up at his house.
Yeah.
He'd be like, man, what y'all, he come in there yelling at us. Why are you eating the chips in his house? I can't really smoke in Keanu's house. You gotta wait till he get there and ask and stuff, so we just be sitting there. We already know he gonna tell us to go here anyway. His house is kind of always like the rendezvous damn near.
Okay.
So
That's lit, man.
we in there, yeah.
Yeah, I love the name StackOverShine, man. Like you said, it's in the name. You know what y'all about.
Mm-hmm.
And especially as far as like, I could speak for myself just growing up, like on some like, man, I was about getting some paper, man. Like
Literally
stacking, right? I don't really care about the it's like what you call, I'd rather be rich than famous.
Come on now.
Type deal. So that's the same thing I hear when I hear StackOverShine type of thing. So that's pretty dope, man. And one thing I do like about y'all StackOverShine, it's like it's three of y'all, man. And like that's one thing I've come to realize is you need a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the fact that y'all grew up with each other, I know y'all got names. You're the architect, correct?
Yeah, yep.
And
I'm
then
the architect.
He's the intellect.
Vontae is the hustler, and Keanu is the philosopher.
Philosopher, okay, my bad.
Yep.
Philosopher, and then you said one more time.
Vontae is the hustler.
And
then I'm the architect.
Got you.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did those names come about?
Keanu made them.
Really?
He kind of wanted to. It has a methodical origin about it because he kind of wanted to represent like the different demographics that you would get coming from the hood. You got those kids. It's like similar to Boondocks. Like Keanu, you got the kids that's profound, intellectual, speak their mind, not really gonna be into all the other stuff. Keanu would play, be with the girls, he do his thing and stuff. And that's coming up as kids. Vontae, he always been like ahead of the curve. So it's just like the hustler, like he taught us like go get the cans. Oh man, to pay you. Hey, we had a board day one time, man. He sat here and was like, all right, I'm gonna make a fishing net. He done sat here and really went fishing. And if you know anything about that pond in Washington Point, man, it's like how you catch a fish with like we sitting here made a stick in the string. Like he nitty gritty down to the detail, know how to do it. And then with me, architect, just being profound and methodical and efficient and what I do, kind of what he made to the summary of it to be just kind of making sure we all are in ourselves in our own right of our personality, but still representing what the little homies or what the big homies or whoever looking to what we got going on can kind of find themselves and feel into. It's like if you're more outgoing and stuff, you probably be able to connect with the Keanu, the philosopher, because you probably be able to appeal to that. If you're more laid back and you got a selective approach, you probably will end up messing with me because, I'm laid back. I'm more calculated. I'm a bit chill. I ain't going to be the abrasive up in your face. Sometimes people like to, let me send an email. Let me set up a lunch. They probably like to do that whole process and it's more personable.
Mm-hmm.
If you got it and you want to I-10, buy 10, you move quick, because Vontae, he's been a parent since a young age. So he's always been able to handle things quickly. He always been able to let me do this to get it out the way. Let me make sure I can help to do that. So if you kind of like move fast and you high paced and you really are intentional about what you're doing, you might run into a Vontae and it might happen. Then call him, hey, Dub, hey, Keanu. And that's the kind of, sporadicness about it.
Yeah. Man, we gonna so yeah, man, I really like the fact that y'all got names for yourselves and like that y'all, most importantly, y'all know yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, I don't know, one thing that's what I'm realizing, at least as I continue to evolve and grow, mature, is like just always knowing who you are as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
not allowing people to project, things of that nature. So I really love the fact that like you said, Keanu came up with the names and stuff. So that's pretty dope because like, you know, people that come from the Far East Side, they can gravitate to who they need to gravitate to.
Right.
Yeah, and because we all got our differences, right?
Right.
And so like if I'm a younger person of Dub, you know, I'm gonna probably click with bro for real. So I'm gonna just, you know, ask for guidance, like, hey bro, how you go about this? So I like the fact that y'all got the names and that fact that you went ahead and told us on this podcast, because this podcast is about perspective.
Right.
And just now that you put your perspective on like how you guys kind of like formulated the group and like now people watching this, man, like, bro, I'm telling you, it's weird how this, you know, just putting content out there is, man. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, but I love that, man. I love the story of Stacking Overshine. Y'all already at Keanu crib before. You feel me? Even there. That's how I know y'all really rock with each other.
Yeah, I'm the one that's in his fridge, checking his fridge. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Man, okay, that's cool. Man, so I will talk about this, man. Y2K Crunk, right? Man, y'all put on an event. You know, I'm there. I'm a fly on the wall, but I'm there still, right?
Nah, you was there.
Okay, I was there.
You was there. You was in the moment. You was a part of the moment. You was there.
Okay, cool. I was there. So, I mean, just seeing, you know, you guys get the skate land rink. In my opinion, successful night. Y'all did y'all thing, right? I mean, I had the camera going and everything, so I saw it. The camera saw it too. So, with that said, man, Far East Side, y'all come to the West Side, skate land. Y'all host this beautiful event for the community. We got people vending. You got other entrepreneurs vending, but then you also got people skate land. So it's like a good combination of just good vibes, people getting get to grow their businesses, their brands. So can you tell me just like the inspiration behind having that event, Y2K Crunk, and like where do you see it like kind of going forward? Evolving, I should say, going forward.
So that idea kind of sparked from a failed idea. That's the crazy part.
Talk to me.
So with that, we were trying to, every year we do our Juneteenth. You know, that's our what Keanu calls, that's the Super Bowl for us. That's kind of like your WrestleMania event. You know, that's what SOS kind of, those principles align with that date, that event, that time. That's our bread and butter right there. So what we was trying to do is kind of encapsulate a way to show people we still have fun in a professional manner, and in the same instance we young. You know what I'm saying? Like we living, we chilling, we not too, you know, pent up.
Stern.
You know, yeah, you know, like we lay back, we chill. You know, we ain't no up top, tip top entrepreneurs. You know, like everyone else is in the city apparently, but we make sure, all right, cool, let's do this a certain type of way. So last year we had an event at the top of second quarter that kind of didn't go the way we kind of intended for it to. So in our eyes, we kind of feel like we missed the mark. So we sat down, we cooked up another plan, and we was thinking like, man, first off, shout out to the Naptown Real Rollers, shout out Candy, Missy, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Shout out to Poetry in Motion and Haja Ho, man. They whole team over there at Naptown Real Rollers, they real cool people. They, you know, a community. They kind of resemble the same principles we stand on as well. So I appreciated them. But the idea kind of came about with us just wanting to bring something new. We want to make sure people can be active at the same time, network, but at the same time get out. Because you know, normally, a lot of entrepreneurs really just go to these events, these networking events, these meetings and stuff. They don't really do nothing active. They don't really have a feeling like they're doing something as the other party goers or so in the same field is, you know, like your club owners and your party promoters. They always in a club or something. Or they're always in a jet, or, you know what I'm saying? Just something different. Just be like, man, they seem like they have the fun, you know? So like, let's bring the fun our way. Let's do something different. Let's up it around here. You know, let's just do something different. So shout out to Zakia. She kind of got on board with it as well, performing, doing her thing, debuting a song there. She doing her thing now as well. But we're just bringing different pieces together, bringing you on board for something new that you kind of really haven't done before. I'm bringing you a new idea that we both haven't seen, done and presented. Just let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. Because when you fail, like what, you can't go lower. You know what I'm saying?
Think.
You can't even. So it's just like, try again, try harder. So that's what we did. So took our time, gathered our resources, had our WrestleMania, and yeah, we came through, made sure we put our people on, our vendors. Shout out Destiny, the Shari, the Kalia Court. Them people, man, they real supporters. They keep coming through. They know the opportunity is just as much as there for them as it is for us. We don't really do with all the charge you a dime a dozen and then we sit here and go and make the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we make sure it feels like this is a everybody thing. It's like a team project. So we just came together and make it a vibe. So that way when everybody's skating and you see them dancing and stuff, you really able to enjoy it. You're not sitting here worried about, am I going to make this next dollar? Am I going to make this next customer or this or that? You really just coming about to enjoy yourself. So we kind of just built a different ambiance and a thought behind the failure with that.
So I'm gonna ask you, man, how was, I guess maybe in the process, I know you were kind of you were all over the place. I mean, obviously you organized everything, so you had to, help out, make sure everybody's good, make sure everybody, like you said, curation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But now that, in hindsight looking back, how did you think everything went?
I feel like I'm going to speak first in the midst of the night, like how you just said. I was over here, I was over there. Keanu was doing a lot between the door and having to check the vendors and stuff. And Miss Candy, she had to do much, making sure her team was organized, the dancing and stuff. So it just seemed like a whirlwind of, oh, let me make sure this. Oh, let me make sure that. And if you're an event thrower, man, I done coined the term event anxiety, and you can see it. These certain symptoms will be over anticipating small things like where's the table covers? You seen me and Vontae sitting here talking about putting a t-shirt on the table or taking it off the table. You know what I'm saying? You just sit here and then you just overwork. You take faster steps than usual. Like you going back and forth between the exit and to making sure that the ambiance is cool. You back and forth between the car because you forgot a box. And so it just seemed like a whirlwind of things going on in the midst of it. But in hindsight, like you just said, it kind of came together for what it needed to be. Like you gotta have that chaos for it to make sense. Like the chaos is what made it the moment, if that makes sense. Cause I was able to, all right, let me set up. Let's put the banner up. Let's do this. Cool. You see me throw the skates on. I'm damn near skating 3 hours of the night, chilling. Mm-hmm. I'm back and forth, round and round, coming back to the front, let them, so we just, in hindsight, it was just a real good vibe. It was a real great experience for us, and it left a lasting impression on our vendors for sure, because their pockets were impressed, if you will. And, our people who came and supported, they really like Zakia's music. She did well on her performance. She was able to get her practice out of the way before the next event she had that night. So it kind of, in hindsight, it did what it was supposed to do. It kind of stood for StackOverShine, benefited the artist, it benefited you and your concept and your growth and doing something new. It benefited us in doing something new and trying to curate a vibe after a failure. Because after you lose, it'd be like, man, it's like, you can't go no lower, but it's like, damn, I don't want to lose twice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so It's just like making sure things go as you plan it to be, down to the pin drop.
Mm-hmm. Man, man. Looking back, in that moment, like I said, I remember that specific moment you talked about how you guys were like over the hoodies, right?
Yeah.
Because I was editing, I was crying, bro. I ain't gonna lie, Vontae funny as hate, bro. He funny, cause I swear, bro. He was, I used to work retail, bro. I know this is how it goes.
He knows how it goes, exactly. When we sitting here both know the same thing, that just goes to show, like, man, let him have it. And we both sitting here thinking the same thing, like, let him have it, but I want to make sure I'm telling you something, but we just both over exerting energy for the event because we want to make sure it's right. You know, so
and then Keanu comes. He was like, "Man, what's wrong with him?"
he don't even know what's going on. We just sat here and just got into it over a little hoodie. Then, but also within that same moment, though, it was had and then it was done with. You know, some people linger. Oh, he had a hoodie on the table.
Yeah, hold grudges.
Man, we gonna sit here and have this discussion right now. He gonna tell me, "Dub, bro, I work retail. Don't tell me da da da." I'm gonna tell him it's cool. I'm just take it off. Whatever decision is made right then and there, move forward from it. Yeah. Like, you gotta have them conversations, have them moments, whatever it is. But that's my brother, so I know he don't intend wrong in it, and it ain't that deep. We both was just making it that deep because we care about the details.
Understood.
So, yep.
Man. So that takes me to conflict resolution. You having a team, right? Mm-hmm. Squad, organization, man. You know what I mean? How do you because that's one thing I feel like in today's society, as far as men, right? We put ourselves in these groups, conflict will come up. Mm-hmm. You know, especially you guys are stacking over shining, money's involved, you guys are doing, etc., all types of things. Mm-hmm. So where does that come from? Just, I would say the leadership aspect of it, but just being able to resolve conflict. Like, where does that stem from? Because I feel like in society, man, us men, we not the best at it, man.
No, that's a fact. Well, I got a big brother, and me and my big brother, we used to always get into it over like little stuff. Like, man, I couldn't even tell you if his shoes was untied or something. We'd just fight over it. Like, it was just constant, me and him back and forth, to where one day, and it shocked my mama because we just became like tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we used to like get into the nastiest fights, and then just one day it became me chilling in his room, or me going to, hey, let me look out for bro, or him coming home with something for little bro, you know, just looking out for me. And then it started there, just like, damn, what did I do to make me and my brother cool? Because now we got that relationship to where I can talk to him, where we can be cool, where I need you to come with me. He need me to go with him. He depends on me. Before, and even then, we were little kids though, so it's not like now we grown, you got actual responsibilities. But before, it's just like, man, damn, that's a little brother. You know how people look out at your little brother. It's like, man, get out my face, man, you messing up my brother is one of them. So I just had to find that balance with that, and then forward from that, it's just like using that same thing across the way, because we both men, you know. I know you a leader, so I'm gonna approach you like a leader, an alpha male, you know. So I'm gonna approach you just like how a man's supposed to shake hand, firm handshake, look you eye to eye. I'm gonna listen to you, you gonna listen to me, and we gonna go from there. If we don't agree, we don't agree. Everything not made to be agreed upon, and we know that. Like, they know Keanu's a profound person. I know my brother's a profound person. He know I am. I'm bound to say something just as crazy as him, but he doesn't agree with everything I agree on, and we don't always have to come to an agreement in order to be on the same page, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because it's about the bigger picture at the end of the day. And I know he don't have any ill intentions, because if he did, it'd been so many more years ago, before in opportunities and stuff of that sort. So it's just like, we older now, we at a place of peace, if you will, to where I can look at it and be like, man, let's just break it down from here. They say a problem is half solved when you write it down. So let's just document what's going on. What happened to make you feel this way? What happened to make you feel this way? Like, we had an internal issue one time, and I called both of them. Get on the phone right now. Let's just talk. Because what else is going to come of it? You know what I'm saying? Then, like I just said a moment ago, you got he felt this way, he felt that way. I'm not the one to sit in between that, or I'm not the one to put that on someone else neither. So I'm gonna make sure if I'm involved in it, it's handled or something, because I'm a solution-based person. Mm-hmm. I'm about the solutions, because I don't have time too valuable. So them my brothers. I know what it's like to fight to the peak of a fight, and what it gets nastiest, and I know what it's like at the best of the piece, when everything is cool and everybody having their way. So I know how to bridge that medium and make sure it has that. So if it get too hot, I know how to throw the ice on it. If it get too cool, all right, I know how to motivate you to heat up. So just play that gauge.
Yeah, man, I want to thank you for sharing that with me, because I definitely just learned something. You said 50% of the problem is solved once you just write it down. Mm-hmm. That's a gem, y'all tap in. And I appreciate, Yeah, we need that right now. I think conflict resolution is we gonna fight. We all gonna disagree at
Mm-hmm.
one point in time. You know, we all don't see eye to eye on certain things, and that's okay. And so I appreciate, like I said, this is I titled this podcast Fresh P.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is to, so the goal is to get people to ask, what does the P stand for? I just shot my 7th episode yesterday, has not been aired. And she was like, what's that mean? I said, perspective. So now that you shared your perspective on conflict resolution, I just learned something from you.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the whole point of this podcast, man. That's why I had to have DaShawn on the podcast, because I'm like, bro, I know I can learn from you,
Understood.
and people can
Likewise.
too. And so with that said, man, I'm tired of just like fighting with people, bro. Like the conflict got to stop. Like we got to start acting like men. Alpha, we need to be that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's all man. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't want to keep ranting. But yeah, appreciate you for dropping them gems for us, man.
Understood.
Much needed, because I like that. 50% of the problem is solved, y'all, just by writing it down. I don't know where'd you get that from.
Honestly, just be reading, going through stuff. I couldn't even quote it to tell you who it is. I got a memory bank worth of moments and
I like that.
quotes, all type of
Yeah.
stuff. So if I'm sitting in the heat of the moment, man, I done seen this before. Let me just chill. Like that's where a lot of my perspective comes from. Just first chilling. Like that's why it's the NS1 Gallery, the non-social one. At first, I'm not gonna sit here and be as extroverted or outgoing or on top of everything. At first, I'm calculated. I'm gonna take a minute. Let me observe. Let me make sure I see what's going on. Let me get a feel for it. How does it make me feel? How did it make you feel? All right, now we know all the emotions of it. Okay, pick and pluck from there. So just taking my time and going through the memory bank, staying a student of the game, really.
I like that. I should have asked you that where it was NS1 stand. But you just NS1 non-social.
yeah, the non-social one.
Yeah, man. All right, so man, we definitely started, but like, man, so I want to get at like just why is it because you told me you're introverted and stuff. However, you being introverted and things of that nature, but you still put yourself in these positions where you have to be a leader, right? You put these. How was it once you first started? Like, because you're introvert, you're non-social. How did you overcome those challenges, man?
It started with sweating and stuttering. That's how it all started for me. I'm really socially anxious. Like it's not really due to, the people or anything. It's due to me growing up and always having something to say. I used to get in trouble having a smart mouth. So it'd be like, man, I really do hope I say the right thing in this situation. I really do hope I make sure I don't leave. I'm not trying to impress or be a people pleaser, but I'm not trying to inflict no harm on you or anything. But I'm trying to be the most me as me I can be, that's accepted, to keep this cordial energy between us. So it started out with me understanding that and trying to identify that in the room, grounding myself, sweating and stuttering, still sweating to this day. But you can't, if you comfortable, you can't really grow. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm sitting here comfortable and I'm only able to do things from behind, or I'm only able to sit here and say something to somebody and they can only take it for as much as they can take it for. Nah, I want to be intentional. So I want you to see me actually sweating to you. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to get through myself to make sure the bigger picture, the greater good happens. You know what I'm saying? So just being focused on that and taking account for it, knowing I'm socially anxious, but hey, it is what it is. I need to make this happen. I know my opportunity and I know I got the momentum to make it happen. So I'm gonna do so.
Hey, much respect to you, because man, that's one thing I realized, man. People that will challenge themselves, knowing that, man, I'm introverted, I'm non-social, but however, because I'm ambitious or I desire a certain outcome for myself in the future,
Mm-hmm.
I know these are the steps that I gotta take in order to, like, grow, as you
Mm-hmm.
stated. And so, yeah, I just want to say, man, much respect to you, man, for just challenging yourselves, because hopefully I hope that somebody watches this and say, man, maybe that's what I need to do.
Mm-hmm. Much
So,
appreciated.
yeah, so I love that, man. I appreciate you sharing that, because I find myself to be introvert as well. However, Like I'm very ambitious. I want to do things. And so you
Mm-hmm.
telling me, okay, I gotta, what's something that I didn't like? I would consider myself, man. I was back then I was a mute, man. I only always said less than necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I only talk when I got something important to say. I ain't think nothing much was funny. But
Yeah.
but I learned to overcome that. Cause I know, bro, I gotta be a leader. People look to me to do things, and okay, so make sure that you be that person that the people need. Be yourself, most importantly.
Right.
However, you are put in a position where you need to become a true leader to people. People look up to you. And
Mm-hmm.
so I like the fact that you take the time to like challenge yourself. You know who you are. However, you still gonna show up as like you said, I'm gonna come sweating, but I'm gonna sweat through it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's powerful. With that said, man, I want to go back to the Far East Side, man. I definitely want to go back to the Far East Side. Um, Something that I really liked was like a question that I want to ask you was, what are the overlooked strengths of the community?
The camaraderie. Like
Damn.
anytime something happen on Facebook, like even if it's the wrong thing, they be like, "Man, is that Lakeisha's son? That's another son. Man, get somebody take the, like it just happens so quick, even on the social media standard. Like on a personal level, Steak and Shake on Washington Street. You can go there. I done been there plenty times, night after night. But you go there with a couple dollars short or something, they'll show you love, man. Man, get this dude. He got $4. Got $3 for the $4 meal. All right, here, huh? And then they'll cook it. They'll smile with you. They'll laugh with you. It'll make you feel warm. When you out east, you feel warm because you know, like, this is where you from. So leaving and taking that and keeping it on you, it's not like it never feels like you owe the community. It feels like you know that you need to show the light on where you from. You know that where you from is important to you. And kind of everybody carries that because it's a small, like I said, it's damn near only like 5 streets or so out on the far east. So it's just like, and when I say 5 streets, I'm talking about like Franklin, German Church, Washington, and those main type of streets you go. But everybody is it's a togetherness about it. So it's just like you can't overlook the value of family out east. When we lose somebody, everybody lost somebody. When somebody goes up, everybody goes up. So it's not like a something that'll really change. Really, it just be like that's your family, good or bad, worse. You was born here. They done seen you. I know plenty of parents out east done seen this scar on my head. They don't be, man, that's what's her name, son. He's over there going. That's just how it is. So it's just the camaraderie is the overlooked strength. People don't really take that into account. Like we move like a family out east.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that camaraderie. I like that answer. I really do. Um, yeah, man. Hey, man, stop watching the news, man. Them niggas be lying on the east side, man. You just heard, bro. Bro just told y'all, bro. Like, why y'all watching the news, man? Go watch Fresh People. Appreciate you sharing that perspective, man. We needed to hear that. We needed to hear that. Cause that like,
Understood.
yeah, cause when I came to y'all event, man, you making sure I'm good, base. You need this, you need
Mm-hmm.
that, bro. That's hospitality, bro. When I go to, that's the stuff I seen my mom do. Make sure whoever came over, y'all was good. You know what I mean? Things
Walk
of that
into a
nature.
room, speak. I'm making sure I'm speaking to everybody. I'm making sure you cool. You got you a drink. He's at the party. You want some? They got candy over here at the table. I'm talking
On
to you when you
myself.
on work. You on
Yeah.
duty. You see us through the camera. I'm like, man, let me make sure everybody cool because I want everybody to feel like how I'm feeling.
Yeah, man. Yeah, camaraderie. I like that. So, man, is that my next question to you? Is that your favorite part about the East Side? If not, what is?
Mm, it's a love hate with that though, because like
Mm.
just like it is with your family, you can do something good for the family and everybody in your family will only gravitate to the good you did. They overlooked when you needed a ride because you was over here walking, or they overlooked what you was doing to get to the good you done for
Oh
everybody.
my.
So it's just like when you do something bad, boy, it don't hurt more than when your mama say you done messed up. You know what I'm saying? When your auntie say you messed up. So it's just like when you look in the community and somebody else mama be like, man, such and such son did that. Like it'd be an unbelievable. And it's the same thing that I feel like it's a love hate. It's just a balance with it because you can do good. You got to do good. You got you got this on your back. But in the same instance, you know, if you mess up, you're gonna be on that same hot seat, you're gonna be on that same plate. So it's just carry yourself with a gracefulness, a humbleness about if I care about you, I'm gonna do what's in my best interest to make sure you provided for and you know I care for you. So that's the same thing that will be on the back burner too. You don't go by that, or it's real easy to get tagged or labeled as selfish or uh grimy or arrogant because everybody out each feel like a family. So if you don't help somebody, they ain't gonna forget that. They ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying, let that go. Or if you don't
Oh,
do something for more, if you feel like you doing better than them, then they gonna sense that, you know. So it's just like it's the same thing. That's the good and the bad.
I like that word. He said, "Since that." That's yeah, man. Yeah, that part. I want to ask you, man. Now, like, what is your definition of success?
Mm. Nowadays it's a deep breath. Like when I can comfortably, you know, like it's not like a location of I can take vacations whenever I want or I can get whatever car I want or things of that sort. It's just like, man, my son cool, my family cool, nobody in the hospital, nobody locked up. I can breathe. I'm able to create. I got another breath in my body. It just turned gratefulness is my success. And I get to a point where I can just chill and realize I'm being grateful for everything to a point where well, this is a personal thing. I done got so high one time, man, I just start just bawling out crying like, man, bro, I
Mm-hmm.
know I done came a long way. No, I know somebody that probably didn't had this same story and had all the worst things happen. So I just be so grateful, man. I can't complain because it ain't gonna get me nowhere. It never got me nowhere. So just when I get to a point of being grateful that I could cry and chill, that's my success.
Yeah, man, we're gonna come full circle because I remember you started the podcast talking about doing more, complaining less. Is
Mm-hmm.
that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, man. So now, man, I just want to ask you, man. I appreciate your time, man, coming on the podcast, man. It's all about perspective. I really think that you have an interesting perspective, man. You're somebody that knows yourself.
Man, you as well, family.
Hey, appreciate that. And with that said, man, where can people find StackOverShine merchandise? What you guys got going on?
Mm-hmm.
How can they follow up with DaShawn? Where can we find you?
Well, they can find us at StackOverShine on Instagram, Facebook. We got a Twitter. We got a TikTok coming. We got a Discord, Stack Overshine. You can type it in Google. We gonna pop up. You gonna see a flyer. Stack Overshine. They can find the merch with us. They can hit us up. Hit Keanu. Hit any other founder. Uh, any merch. I mean, we got more coming for sure. But you want to get a ticket to our next event? Go to the page. Find one of us. Find somebody. My Instagram, the non-social one, my boy Vontae 2 underscores VONTE 3 underscores, and then the Don Keanu on Instagram DonKeanu with the underscore, I believe. So you get tapped in with any other founders, get tapped in with the main page. We let everything fly under there, man. We support. We ain't one of them you follow us, we don't follow back type. Nah, when we follow, we like, comment, we share, we make sure, you know what I'm
This is
saying?
true. This is true.
We do the social media, the whole rundown, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So yeah, find us at Stack Overshine on Facebook, Instagram, everything.
And listeners, if you are listening to this podcast, please take the time to, man, follow up with these individuals. I'm talking about leaders in the community, man. These are people you want to be around, like-minded individuals. They trying to go places. If you are, man, just got the information on where to find them. So with that said, this is episode 8 of Fresh P Podcast. I got my guy here, DaShawn
Hey.
Warfield, and we are out.